MJBulls is proud to produce the Raising Cannabis Capital podcast. Today's episode will begin after this brief message from our sponsor.
This ain't no desk job, but it's what you gotta do to scale up to this in a single growing season. It's how, in Oregon alone, we grew and harvested the single largest crop of CBG in the world. Grit, tenacity, hell, whatever you want to call it. The crew at Hamptown USA has it by the bucket load. Just getting our seeds in the ground back in spring and growing them till fall was nothing short of heroic. Propagation, planting, maintaining what we have, and building what we need. Trust me, this shit ain't easy. But when it comes to harvest time, our team bumps the bar up to a whole new level. Next comes processing. Everything but the top flower goes off to get turned into crude, distillate, isolate, and water-soluble ready. Our product, like our team, is nothing less than best in class. This plant has always had the power to change the world, but it needs people to make it happen. We're lucky to have those people right here at Hamptown USA.
There's a lot of consolidation happening, and we ourselves have entered into a consolidation deal. We are entering into a 4-way merger that will allow us to be listed on the Canadian Securities Exchange. So we are going public. Yes, we are taking the company public.
From MJBulls Media, it's the Raising Cannabis Capital Show. Hey, Roger.
Hey, Dan.
So we're here with Roger Obando at the Cannabis World Congress and Business Exposition, and Roger is one of the founding partners from Baker Technologies, which is, like I said, one of the rising stars in the cannabis industry. Their company, well, most people know of it already, but I'm going to let Roger tell you the story. Started from pretty humble beginnings. They identified a need, and they went from there. So, Roger, maybe jump right in and tell us what the void was that you guys saw.
Sure, absolutely. This is back in 2014. What we identified was that in these legal markets, there was an overabundance of demand and a lack of supply. And so we looked at that problem, did a little research, found out about 80% of the revenue comes from 20% subset of the consumer base.
Right.
And so we took a look at these lines and realized that 2 out of 10 people in that line was probably sitting there with a few $100s in their pocket waiting to buy an ounce of product, and they're being forced to wait in line behind a ton of tourists that are going to take an hour smelling jars of marijuana to walk out of there buying maybe a joint. So we re-identified that.
So your best customers are trapped in these long lines.
Yep.
And they're just frustrated.
So we were all very familiar with Grubhub. And Grubhub is a system, for those who aren't familiar, that allows you to order food from local restaurants. And most crucially to what we were doing, doesn't actually process a transaction. And that was something that was really important for us at the time, because obviously it was federally illegal, right? We're in cannabis.
Yeah.
What we decided to do was build an online ordering and reservation tool. When it came time to decide what technology we were going to use to build our platform, we decided to do it web-based. That allowed us to build a single code base that would work on any platform, Android, iPhone, whatever. And more importantly, we wouldn't have to deal with fighting the Apple Store to let us put our app onto the store. So this is a decision that was made for very practical reasons. One problem that came out of that was the really nice benefit that you get when you do native applications is you get push notifications. So we weren't able to do that because of the fact that we didn't do a native application. So we built a 2-way SMS communication system. Once our customers realized that we could send SMSs, once they put 2 and 2 together and said, you're sending SMSs about this, could we send SMSs to our customers? And so we built our targeted marketing tool set, and we leverage all the data that we have from the online ordering, from the visit frequency, from the spend, all of that. And not just at your store, but this person exists in our ecosystem throughout other stores.
Okay.
So we are able to gather information even if they haven't shopped at your store that often. We're able to tell you this person buys flour, this person buys concentrate. Yeah. And that way you can be very effective with your marketing.
That is great. That's just good stuff. So along the path here, you stopped bootstrapping it. And at some point, you had to start taking some money from outside.
Yeah.
Can you give us a breakdown of where you are with that?
No, absolutely. To date, we've raised in the neighborhood of $11.5 million, which is,
great.
Yeah, it puts us pretty high up there as far as well-funded cannabis companies. It's,
yeah.
I give my co-founder and partner Joel Milton all the credit. He works tirelessly to go and find investors and make these deals happen.
But it's partly because you guys have a really, really good product.
Oh, absolutely.
And you found yourself in a place where it's not crowded.
Right. And not only that, from the investor community perspective, our offering was very attractive because it's not plant touching.
Yes,
it's totally
that's true.
and completely ancillary. We sell software. We don't take any royalties off any sales. We don't do any. We sell software as a service, and that is it. So
you're a true picks and shovel company.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's so true. Investors love tech, and they're super excited about cannabis, but not all of them want to touch the plant. So you're hitting in both places.
Yeah. So we were, all things came together, and we've been very fortunate. Also, I was mentioning earlier to you, we were fortunate enough to get invited to join Batch 14 of 500 Startups, which is an accelerator program in San Francisco. For those of us who don't know what an accelerator is, basically they invest some money in you, but more importantly, they mentor. It provides a certain amount of confidence in the investment world to say, okay, well, they've already been vetted by a very exclusive accelerator, and they got in there.
And then you have the Alumni Association.
Exactly.
That's got to be invaluable.
Companies as large as Twilio came out of 500 Startups.
Yeah, and you just pick up the phone and say, hey, can we talk? I have a question about this.
Exactly right.
Oh my gosh, that's got to be just like
that's
so good.
We managed to raise $1.6 million coming out of 500 Startups, and then we closed another 1.7 about another 6 to 8 months later.
Holy
and that
cow.
became our seed round. And then at the end of last year, we closed an $8 million A round, and it's gotten us to this point. But you know as well as anybody, the startup game is profitability or growth, right?
Yeah, but you got to, like you mentioned this before. It's a land grab right now in the cannabis industry, and you guys are off to the races. And which kind of brings me to my next point. I think you said before that you have a pretty large market share, but you don't have it all.
Right.
So right now you're at how big on our market?
We're about somewhere around 33 to 35% of the entire legal market,
which is huge.
One out of every 3 stores has Baker.
I want to take a minute to tell you about some really innovative things that our sponsor Cream of the Crop is doing in the cannabis space. Their brand is on fire. They have the 5th best-selling indoor flower brand in the state, and they're profitable, growing their business at 10% a month year to date. They're succeeding by helping cultivators turn profits through operation management and consulting in exchange for supply agreements. By bringing 30-plus years of cultivation experience, award-winning genetics, ultra-efficient SOPs, proprietary nutrient mixes, and their brand, they're able to help both operators who are new to the space and ones who want to just increase efficiency. In fact, they just increased profits for one of their clients by $700,000 per month. Just incredible. But what's really exciting is that they're expanding their highly scalable model beyond California. That's right, they're accepting applications across the country for 2021 and 2022 partnerships. Also, if you're planning to invest in cannabis, you should definitely look at Cream of the Crop because they're doing a capital round in early 2021 to help with their brand's national expansion. To learn more about partnering with Cream of the Crop or investing in their expansion, go to creamofthecropgardens.com. That's creamofthecropgardens.com. Moving forward, what's the next plan? What's the next step for Baker?
There's a lot of consolidation happening, and we ourselves have entered into a consolidation deal.
Really?
Yeah.
Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, okay. We are entering into a 4-way merger that will allow us to be listed on the Canadian Securities Exchange. So we are going public.
Nice.
Yes, we are taking the company public right now.
That is so cool. So what are the other companies? Can you talk about what the other companies?
Yeah, absolutely. So Baker, obviously, you guys know what we do. Mm-hmm. Our LP in Canada, which is the company that we will be able to do an RTO on and actually go public with. It's a cultivator, right? Obviously, a licensed producer in Canada. And then we have Sea Hunter out of Boston, and Sea Hunter does a lot of license acquisition and development. So they will acquire licenses and basically act as a PE firm and invest and get them all the services they need to get up and running off the ground.
Yeah.
And then the last entity that we included is a company called Brightside out of Bend, Oregon. And Brightside does infrastructure for cultivation, so modular grow units.
Yeah, that's super exciting. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people, a lot of our listeners right now are saying, wow, this is one of those ones, those early ones that I'd like to get in early on. This is going to happen in 2018?
Yes.
You
We
guys
should
are going to be public?
we should be listed under TILT on the Canadian Securities Exchange before the end of the year.
Okay.
Hopefully much sooner than the end of the year, but we'll see. You
And
know how these things go.
Yeah, and so people will be able to buy it on the Canadian Stock Exchange under TILT.
So yeah, that'll be going up before the end of the year. We're actually raising a private placement round now as well for anyone who's looking to get involved with that. There's an opportunity still.
Okay. And if they wanted to, your website is www.trybaker.com. We'll have a lot of this information on the MJBulls website at mjbulls.com. But if somebody were interested in getting more information,
You can reach out to me directly. I hope I don't regret saying that.
Yes. Well, hopefully you do.
Hopefully I do. Hopefully there's a lot of interest. Roger at trybaker.com.
Roger.
ROGER. It's one of the benefits of being a founder. You always get that first name, Matt. I'm happy to pass that along to our finance team and the appropriate parties if anyone's interested in being a part of
so
that.
it's at Roger at trybaker.com.
Yeah.
Perfect. Roger, this has been really, really informative, and I got a feeling that a lot of people are looking for something like this, an opportunity like this to invest, because let's face it, this is the right time to buy in, to get into this industry, and a company like yours that this is a really exciting deal that you're about to venture into. Going public, good for you.
Going public, I know.
Congratulations.
It's exciting. I can check that one off the bucket list now.
Well, thanks again.
Thank you so much for having me.
And good luck.
Thank you.
Crappy's Feel Better Company is a cannabinoid CPG company with a line of easy-to-use CBG, CBD, and CBN products built for the weekend warriors, the weekday Zoomers, and anyone in between. Crappy's next-gen products incorporate pharmaceutical-derived chemistry to precisely blend minor cannabinoids and terpenes, creating a series of proprietary formulas for hyper-targeted use cases. Harnessing a team of experts with over 75 combined years of chemistry experience, the company relies on its novel solubility technology, state-of-the-art delivery, consistent results, and unique eye-catching branding to stand out from the crowd. Crappy's executive team and chemists have created a vast and diverse product pipeline to maintain relevance in a saturated market. To find out how you can participate in Crappy's Feel Better expansion, which includes major retail placements, university-executed clinical trials, IP and patent submissions, GMP and API scale-up, and international distribution, go to crappysfeelbetter.com or on Instagram at crappysfeelbetter.
Today's show was made possible by the generous support of our sponsors, like Alt36, the country's premier blockchain payment processing platform that's providing dispensaries and its customers with a safe and secure payment option other than cash. To learn more, go to alt36.com.